the worst of all possible situations. Imagine that you're one of the disciples.
Or is one of the women who followed Jesus.
Imagine that he is no longer among you because he is dead.
You saw him die, you saw them bury him in the tomb.
There is no doubt, there is no hope, there is no future.
You huddle behind a locked door, fearing that those who tortured and killed Jesus would come for you next. What will happen to you, to your family, to your friends?
There is no doubt,
There is no hope.
there is no future.
You heard him say when he was alive that the Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day be risen again.
But you have forgotten those words, or at least they hold no hope for you now.
The horror of the crucifixion is still fresh in your mind. You see and hear him laying there in agony, dying right in front of you when there was nothing you could do about it.
You think about your part in all of it and wonder what you could have done differently.
You have been frightened and hiding for days, but now it's Sunday.
Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw the stone had been removed from the entrance. At this, she ran to Simon Peter and the other disciples that Jesus loved and said,
They have taken my Lord out of the tomb and we don't know where they have put him.
So Simon, Peter, and the other disciple ran for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and got there first. He bent over and looked in, but did not go in.
So Simon Peter came along behind him and went straight into the tomb. He saw the linen lying there and the cloth that was wrapped around Jesus' head. The cloth was still in its place, separate from the linen. Mary Magdalene stood outside the tomb crying. As she went, she saw two angels dressed in white, seated where Jesus' body had been. One was at the head, and the other was at the foot. They asked her,
Why are you crying? They have taken my Lord away and I don't know where they have put him.
Then she turned around and saw Jesus, but didn't realize that he was Jesus.
Woman, why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?
Thinking that he was the gardener, she said,
Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him and I will go get him. Rabboni!
in Aramaic, the word Rabboni means teacher.
Do not yet hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. Go instead and tell my brothers that I have ascended to my Father, to your Father, to my God, and to your God.
Mary went to the other disciples with the news.
I have seen the Lord!
She told them the things that he said to her.
On the evening of the first day of the week, when the disciples were together with the doors locked for fear of the Jewish leaders, Jesus came and stood among them and said,
Peace be with you.
After he said this, he showed them his hands and side. The disciples were overjoyed to see the Lord. Again he said,
Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you.
With this, he breathed on them and said,
Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive anyone's sins, they are forgiven. If you do not forgive anyone's sins, they are not forgiven.
Now Thomas, one of the 12, was not with them at this time. So the disciples went and told him,
We see the Lord. Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and I put my finger where the nails were, and I put my hand into his side, I would not believe.
The next week, when the disciples were in the house with Thomas, Jesus came and stood among, even though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said,
Peace be with you. Put your fingers here, see my hand. Put your fingers here, see my side. Stop doubting and believe. My Lord and my God.